Good morning. I'm excited because I listened to the Republican convention this morning and I applauded Mormon Ann Romney for the great speech she gave for Mitt Romney to become president. I'm from Utah and all my ancestors were Mormon. But I don't attend the church because of conflicts that came up, quarrels to do with my father, who was an alcoholic. And these were even quarrels with his sister, who was a very good Mormon, pillar of the church, my aunt. But I didn't like her attitude toward alcoholics. She expressed to me that they'd be better off if they died, the family. That's not true. So, but anyway, I still recognize a lot of strengths in the Mormon religion. I've lived all over Utah. I spent 7 years in Salt Lake, by the way, where I was incarcerated by Mormon psychiatrist, which didn't schedule for electric shock.
That's the wrong word.
This was another reason why
You were not
I
incarcerated.
had something against Mormon, because he interpreted my behavior as what? Needing electric shock treatment? No. So anyway, his idea of sanity seemed to be limited. And this is what I say, is all religions have their limitations. They have their faults and their failings, whether they want to recognize them or not. Look at the Catholics. They've had this horrible pedophile priest problem, which has probably risen because they don't have any, they don't have women like Mormons do. You know, the priests can't have wives.
You're kidding.
So, and I say to me, the Mormon religion has faults and failings. I didn't deny, for example, that my father's substance abuse, alcoholism, wasn't very destructive to the family, but I didn't want him driven to suicide. I didn't, because of his problems, too much pressure, too much denigration and criticism, and not enough understanding of how to reach the alcoholic. I had a big stake in trying to reach my father, very big, bigger than any of them. And I did not have a substance abuse problem. I vowed never to drink or smoke. And the Mormon religion helped me to keep that.
It's hot, watch it.
So
Hot.
I'm thinking that, hey, yeah, Mitt Romney could probably bring to this nation something very badly needed. That is different kind of outlook on substance abuse, which has been epidemic. It's epidemic in Arizona. It's epidemic a lot of places. Drug addiction, meth, all kinds of drugs. And I know.
Guess who's back?
Who?
My meth addicted
Uh-oh.
neighbor.
His meth addicted neighbor. It's all over the place. So I think that by dismissing religion, they dismissed, say like in the Mormon, word of wisdom, very powerful word of wisdom. Everybody that's active, all these Mormon missionaries that go out, and they're committed not to drink, not to smoke, not to do drugs. And I could applaud that more. And I don't think the cost of that should be lack of understanding of people with problems, too much pressure, not being able to be flexible in dealing, more flexible.
Like this
And
outfit.
here I'm with an alcoholic. Now some people would say, oh, that's enablement. You shouldn't be with him. Some of my Mormons would be saying that. My Mormon influences.
Name
Get
one.
rid of this guy.
Name one.
Well, I'll tell you why. He's like my father. I'm still rescuing my father.
Your
And
father's dead.
somebody has to.
Well, name one.
I'm
that's
the
giving
one
you a
that
hard
knows
time.
this man. I'm the one that knows whether he's worth trying. Believe me, there's a lot of alcoholics out there that I would not be with them. I would not be doing a thing with them. They're too violent. They're too this, they're that. But this man has still got virtues that keep me going.
Name one.
Well, he's an intellectual, for one thing, that passes for one in my life. He is the smartest guy I ever went with.
Jeez.
He understands me. And if I tell a Mormon that, even though he's still drinking, a lot of times the answer would be, closed-minded, no, you gotta get rid of that alcoholic. You can't be with anybody like that. And I would say, if I
a
get
dry
more
heat, folks.
from him than I do from church, I'm going to say, there's something the matter there. In other words, a lot of churches, they have people running them who feel like they have the right to tell everybody what to do, what to think, how. They are not going to listen to reason. Because I didn't have a drinking problem. I didn't have a smoking problem. Yet, people didn't want to then listen to me about my father, how I felt he needed to be treated, and they don't want to listen about him. I won't give up on this man until he forces me to.
Said, name one person.
Believe me, if he tried to kill me, I would be gone. If he didn't give me something.
Okay.
And I say this, you cannot ask an alcoholic to sober up overnight, or even 5 years. 5 years I've given him. Well, I'll probably be with him until he dies.
This is loaded with sulfuric acid. You're ready?
But I say, if there's progress, if I think there's a little bit of progress, because this man was born with a great mind and a lot of talent. And so that's why
I have the feeling she's going to want to borrow some money from me. I just have a feeling, I know what she wants me to do, sign over.
I had to practically take him and twist his arm to get him to let me watch the Republican convention, because he thinks the Democrats are his friends. And
I didn't say everyone.
And he said all his people, he was raised in the Lutheran church and community. Most religious people in the world. And he said they were all Republicans. Guess what? He rebelled. So something was wrong there somewhere.
I did not rebel, I said.
Oh yeah? He became an alcoholic, he left the church, and he became a Democrat. Is that rebellion or what?
No, what I'm trying to tell you is the church left me.
Oh yeah, right.
I married the preacher's daughter, and after that everything just went.
Yes, because the preacher's daughter lied to him.
Well, she
Treated
didn't
him
lie.
terrible.
She said she was going to marry me, and she did. But after that was it.
No relationship.
I
No
was having more sex with her before we got married. And by the way, folks, there's no penetration sex, you know. But after we got married, it was it. She did her job.
Okay, but this
But
is
that
what
didn't make me a Democrat. I was still a Republican. I voted for Eisenhower. That was my first chance to vote.
Well, now he's gone Democrat for sure.
Well, just remember one thing good old General Eisenhower said when he was still in office. He said, beware of the industrial military complex.
Yeah, it will grow.
No, wait a minute. Think about what I just said. Grow. It's the biggest chunk out of the budget there is. Beware of the military-industrial complex. And it's been eaten up ever since. And they can't stay out of war. They just because, well, let's say...
Well, if they got all that, that military-minded, thinking, and is...
No, it's not the military-minded thinking so much. Is that all of the... privatized companies were making military equipment And
Oh,
the
yeah.
government was...
Jobs will be
Are
lost.
you listening to me?
Yes. John McCain is afraid jobs will be lost
No,
if they
but one of the
if they cut
problems
back on military.
is that...
and he's a
well,
Republican.
of course, yes. I mean, of course they're going to be lost because there's no reason for it. I've had some of my best friends, some of my relatives go into the
military complex business.
yeah, right, on Los Alamos and Caltech and places
They
like
had
that.
brains. They were
That's all they
engineers.
do.
They
That's
were
all do.
engineers.
They try to kill people, and they're doing a damn good job of it. Unfortunately, it's costing the government more money, but who cares? Because guess what? All of the so-called entrepreneurs who own these military industrial businesses are just raking it in. They don't even have to show a profit. If they show an over, most people don't understand this. If they run a cost overrun, let's say they got a $100 million contract, and then they tell the government, well, it's going to cost 115 million or 120. We don't know. So they're still going to cut that 15%, profit. But as they keep increasing the price to the government, instead of being $15 million on 100, now it's 140 million. So there's 15% of that, which just went up. And who pays for these people?
And we are so in debt. We have to do something. We have to cut back. I think the best thing that ever happened was for the Mormons to get a national voice. Go take it. This is what I've always thought Mormons should do. They should take their virtues to a national level. And this is what I think Mitt Romney, as running as a candidate, is doing. It's shining a light on what Mormons do well as what they don't do well. And I think that's fair. I think that we need to analyze what this kind of a Mormon president could bring us. And I think he could certainly bring us more strength when it comes to dealing with substance abuse because of the success the Mormon religion has had in controlling substance abuse among the active, the faithful.
I thought you weren't active and I thought you weren't faithful.
Well, I'm not. I'm not in the religion per se, but I'm still very influenced by it. It's like being a Utahn. I'm a Mormon Utahn. You just don't shake that. You are still tied in a lot of ways, especially if your relatives, a lot of your relatives are still in it and are active. That is going to pull you back. I spend half my time talking to Utah people, whether I'm up there or not.
No, which one of these Utah people have told you to dump me?
They don't have to tell me, I can read it. I remember when I tried to tell about my first husband's problem, drinking, a Mormon, sort of counselor, and he said, well, you picked the wrong guy. Was he active?
I have no idea.
And I thought, heck, I picked the wrong guy. I picked the only one that asked me to marry him.
This is one of my other favorite things. And
As the daughter
my
of an
son asked me,
alcoholic?
but I used to raise kids. If your son asks you, he said, Dad, I'm going with a couple of women, which one should I, marry? This is from Married with Children. He says, don't worry about it. Whichever one you pick is going to be the wrong one. So don't just pick either one. Pick one. It's going to be the wrong one sooner or later.
Right.
This is from a guy who's been married 4 times. Right? So
That's
as
right.
far as I'm concerned, I only married him because they had kids that I wanted to help raise. And after they got raised old enough, then it's time for me to, move along and find some other woman who's got kids.
Great philosophy. I mean, it's a variation.
Well, it worked for me, except I'm still poor and broke
Well,
now.
I had somewhat the same thing, and I had been in a mental hospital as incarcerated
on.
by that Mormon psychiatrist. I had an alcoholic
Come
dad.
on, how
I mean,
long? Now wait a minute.
who
How
could
long
I
did
get?
that last?
I got this other guy
Wait a minute,
who
now you sound like
wasn't
you've been
a
in
good
jail.
Mormon, but he wanted to
Wait
be,
a
but he
minute.
wasn't.
How long were you actually in there? What, 3 days?
I was only in there two weeks, and I didn't even
That's
get my
not
shock treatment.
incarcerated.
But believe me, to some people's mind, that means you're crazy and you will never be anything else.
Well, I certainly
So-
can't disagree with that.
So anyway, I'm excited about Ann Romney, at least. I don't know, I've got to wait for Mitt and his speech. I don't think he's probably not going to be as good a speaker as his wife, but I thought she was fantastic. And I'm looking forward, though, to this convention, and next week I know he's going to watch the Democratic one, and I'll be by his side. I will be watching both.
You don't get it.
But I just wanted to make one today because I'm happy with how the Republican convention is going, how Mormonism is showing. Mitt's not from Utah, but he's a Mormon. And I understand those Mormons. I mean, at least I have a lot of observation.
Now, let me,
I know, they'd probably say I didn't understand them at all.
Before you finish up, I want to tell everyone, and all of you 2 people out there, that I recorded this last night, you know, right? From 5 to 4 hours of recording just to get to the old lady and then the junkie guy too, you know.
Christy, I watched him.
I had to leave the room several times to go to the bathroom, but that's the way it is. And if I do it again tonight, it'll be, see, I've got a recorder. I can record up to 12, 15 hours. So what's 4 hours? Nothing. And
I'll
then
be
you can
watching
just
it.
skip it all and all that good stuff. Now, I want her to put this on YouTube because I think for anybody that's got enough audacity to hang around with somebody like me for what, 6 or 7
and
years.
defend herself instead of admitting she's just a weak, watery, dependent, you know,
Incarcerated.
crazy woman. Oh, and by the way, my blouse is a little low cut. If I was a good Mormon, I wouldn't be able to wear anything this low cut. But
Oh, did you see that? Did you see that the other day? This guy, this old lady's about like you, and I guess she's trying to go out and get on the airplane, and the guy is looking at her, you know, like there's a little too much cleavage there. But I'm 82 years old. Well, you're gonna have to zip that up a little, like.
oh my goodness. Well, I'm 81. I hope you're not offended.
I am.
I hope you Mormons aren't, but anyway, I believe in a little bit more freedom than they would be giving me. So, bye-bye. See you next week after during the Democratic convention.
Don't trust me on that one.